Good evening. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Jeremiah. How you guys doing today? Oh, I forgot to change this. See that? I don't feel like figuring out what else to write there. How you guys doing today? How's your day been? Yo and hello. What's up, Philip? How's it going, buddy? Are you guys having to worry about the hurricane in the Gulf, or is I know it's heading towards Florida, but is that heading towards you guys at all? Yeah. Sorry. Are you guys having to worry about the tropical storm / hurricane that's forming in the Gulf? I just know there's one forming. I haven't actually looked to see if which direction it's heading. Hey, Kelsey. Good evening. I'm far too north to be worried about that. Might get some storms of it. Gotcha. Hey, non-useful. I got the music from the musical in my head, so now I'm like singing it in my head right now. Happens at every musical that I do. I just can't wait to start seeing Tallarico v. Paxton debates. Do you think there'll be any? Do you think Paxton would actually agree to any? I kind of wonder if he would even agree to doing one. I kind of feel like he wouldn't. Thank you, non-useful. I appreciate you. Already has agreed to 3? Really? That seems... That... Hey, you know? Yep. Should be fun then. Should be interesting. Televised too. Dang. Well, we'll definitely have to watch one of them. That's wild. Good evening, OC. How are you doing? Paxton versus a pro. Dude, I still can't believe that man got the the Republican nomination. A man that has, I mean, there are very few people that I would consider worse than our current president. Paxton might be one of them. According to Philip, he's agreed to 3. Paxton is a chip off the old orange vomit. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Really is. Really is. So I was looking at the news for today, and as usual, not good. Trump using an old Smoot Hawley uh you know, something from the Smoot Hawley Act to try and impose tariffs on Canadian goods. Hey Lori. And we know how well Smoot Hawley went for the United States. So that's great. Pausing $1 billion in Medicaid payments to California and Minnesota. That's great. Who could ask her anything more? I was just watching the Hegseth hearing. It went as worse. It went as bad as how you think it went. Yeah. 37.5 billion. We know that it probably was more than that. There's no way it only cost us 37 billion. I'm sorry. That's a bunch of bullshit. Although again, also on the positive side, the Tate brothers seem to be getting it's looking good for them getting extradited to the UK. It's still sad that the UK seems to be the only place, one of the only places that is holding people accountable, because we can't seem to do it. He's not nice to anybody. Ken Paxton is kind of the ultimate piece of shit. Should be an option for the US citizen to divorce a president. Seriously. That would be nice. Paxton is a pen thief. There you go. That's an understatement, Rosa. Understatement. So Nancy Mace has decided not to run for the Senate seat. Thought that was interesting. Oh, Mac, that's a dumb question. I'm exhausted. Plan another rapture. I want to do the rapture party again. Any primaries today? I don't think so. Arizona. Arizona is today. I know, Suzanne. Missouri primary is August 4th. Yeah, there's quite a few in August. Washington, Virginia, Missouri, Michigan, Kansas. Those are all the 4th. You have a playlist for the day? There you go. Paxton did more than China to interfere in the 2020 election. Fair. That's fair. I mean, Russia did more to interfere in that election than China did, it sounds like, based on our own national security. Mhm. Hey, Izzy. Mm. Vote no on amendment. Which one are amendments 4 and 5? Minnesota is August 2. I'm barely registered for the primary. I'm already registered for the primaries. Yeah, I think. Yeah, they're the 11th. So Connecticut, who doesn't really have primaries, at least not on the Democrat side. Minnesota, Vermont, and Wisconsin are all on the 11th. Missouri is having 4 amendments on the ballot. Dang. Yeah, isn't one of them to like get rid of income tax or something like that? Or property tax or something stupid like that? State tax. I wonder how they think they're going to pay for things. Do away with personal property tax and raise sales tax from 7 to 13%. Oh yeah, because that will, gosh. Yes. Yeah, I started about 12 minutes ago. Yep. An awful time to get rid of property or state taxes. Things will only get more expensive. Yep. That would, Steffi, that would probably be a wise thing. That would probably be a wise thing. It's definitely something I would not suggest people do right now. What's bullshit, Kim? Didn't Missouri already pass something to keep abortion legal? Governor overrode the voters. Oh. Sounds very Republican of him. No, 7 other presidents were smart, John. You don't even know what socialism is, John. You want to have a conversation about it? First, you got to understand what it is. You just You came in and requested without even talking. Why would I just bring up people? What kind of what do you think this is? They weren't building up a nuclear program. You said, "What's this?" And then so not having people up, that's all I've seen. No, they weren't. Making excuses? I'm not making excuses. I don't want to go into an endless war. Another one. Especially an unwinnable war. Hey, Miss K, I'm doing good. How are you? No, Joe. That is not socialism. But thanks for playing. This is not a debate live. Literally, it said when you walked in that we don't debate here. Well, then maybe this president during his first term shouldn't have gotten rid of the deal that made sure that they couldn't build up, they couldn't enrich things. Quite pathetic to ask for follower to come up. What are you talking about? I didn't ask anyone to come up. Aw, everyone in chat is a participant, dipshit. I don't owe you anything. MAGA here. Oh, yeah. Right about the 15-minute mark. Yeah, I just saw him sharing the live. My guess he's sharing it with his alt account. So he'll be back. What do you think about Hexeth and the testosterone? I think he is projecting. Why can't born USA citizen go into a mosque? Thought USA was freedom of religion. Um, uh, so you mean he sees value in testosterone? So I'm saying he sees value in gender affirming care. For a man who's against gender affirming care, I do think it's interesting that he's now for it. They did not find over 6,000 illegals on the voter rolls. No, they didn't. Is he against it? Mikey Cheryl said that her office would remove over 6,000 non-US citizens who had been incorrectly added to the state's voter rolls while applying for a driver's license or identification card due to a software error. And they didn't vote. Fewer than 400 did, which is literally nothing for a state as big as errors happen. Are you saying no error should ever be made, or are you saying that we should hold everyone fully accountable? Because if that's the case, then I hope you're willing to hold your administration accountable. Aw, you are in error. Grow up. It's not why we need the SAVE Act. It was a... But thanks for playing. SAVE Act is unconstitutional. But again, thanks for playing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The SAVE Act, as it is written, is unconstitutional. Poll tax. The requirements that are necessary to quote unquote prove citizenship require you to pay money. Cost you money. Voting is a fundamental right, and if it costs money, it costs undue amount of work, it is unconstitutional, hence a poll tax. Oh, I don't care if you don't like it, Joe. I don't care if you don't like it, MAGA teacher, which is sad if you're actually a teacher. Feel bad for your kids. I'm not pissed off. I feel bad for you and your kids if you are actually a teacher. Not pissed off. I could care less what you think. I think it's funny that you care. Super Joe, your ass is a poll tax. It's kind of true, actually. Isn't Iran war to divert? I know it's definitely part of it, but now it's just turned into something more than that. It's not about his winning, it's about his friends making money. That's probably true too, Miss Buttons. Correct. GR. Union overwhelming government reason to interfere with fundamental rights. Not enough proof of problems. Yep. Spreading false opinions. Well, an opinion can't be false. By the very nature of what an opinion is, it can't be false. You can disagree with it. No. None of the information I'm talking about is false. Mr. Global advises to start stocking up with food. In September, we will have shortage supplies. It's possible. Didn't we have the same situation in the early 80s? I would have to look into the specifics as to how we got to where we got in the early 80s to say how similar or not it was. Shortage in certain products is already happening. He is one of them. I remember the horrible gas lines. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens. It could be, it'll be interesting. T minus 5 minutes. We'll see. Hey, Meme. How you doing, buddy? The Iran hostage crisis. Some gas stations took reservations to get gas. Yeah, it not looking forward to it, that's for sure. Mom said they went by plate numbers. It went by odd and even days. Yeah, my understanding is the first tankers have been turned around. Saudi tankers have been turned around. I mean, again, this is the thing that bugs me is these people come in and they complain about X, Y, and Z, but they completely ignore any problems on their side. And that's fine. You can ignore, like, you don't think it's a problem, that's one thing. But if you're going to complain about a problem that is exact same problem on your side, that's the only way we're going to fix anything, is if we see problems and we hold everyone accountable for them. But also, Iran cannot own the two straits. Agreed. There's always been that danger. That's why no one has ever done something this stupid. Saying they cannot own them is it doesn't, I mean, it just doesn't matter. They do. Denial is a powerful drug and a long river. we'll take them back. We won't. We won't. It's not, again, I was talking about this yesterday, the amount of people, American lives, human lives, and resources that it would take would be insane and way more than we could handle. Rage Against the Machine warned us about this. System of the Down reminded us. I mean, it's not going to happen if we as a whole don't make it happen, Robert. It's up to us to hold them accountable. Yeah. If you're talking the people in power, sure. But I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about getting rid of those people in power and putting in people that will actually care about accountability. Speaking of, everyone read Serge. I thought about it. He's so good. I was telling people yesterday that I just got what's the name of it? I'm blanking. It's been a long day today. A Resistance History of the United States by Tad Stormer. You should check that out too. I don't think we need any wars, let alone forever wars. So that's what I thought. The Strait of Hormuz has actually never been closed to commercial traffic other than this. There have been lots of threats. Didn't Iran have a war in the 80s? Yeah, the Iran-Iraq war, but they never actually closed the strait. They threatened it, but they never actually closed it. I agree, Andy. I'm tired of wars. I'm tired of people. I'm tired of this mentality of wars. I'm tired of. I'm also the thing that's popping up on my feed right now is just a bunch of men saying, "Oh, men, blah blah blah. Men need to be like this." And it's like, dude, no. Men need to learn that the world is different than it was, and they need to learn to live in this new world and not try and keep making it like it used to be. That world is gone. Time to get to the new world. We have to see this out to the end. See what out to the end? I live in a heavily military area and the morale is so bad, I bet. Yeah, non-useful. I've been seeing a lot of things talking about about how much stuff we need to avoid eating now because it's getting bad. It's going to work itself out and be just fine. What's going to work itself out? Our increased debt, the increased cost of goods when people can barely afford to live, the the 17 plus people, Americans, that have lost their life for nothing? What's okay about that? What's fine about that? The food scarcity that we're going to experience because of the lack of fertilizer that farmers got in America. Hey, Aaron. The pipeline was not open. He did not raise fuel costs by ending that project. It wasn't there was nothing happening yet. So he couldn't have raised prices by ending it. What's the update on Mr. Graham's sister? As far as I know, I heard that she is going to run for Senate. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. Yeah, barely started. No, that's not what made fuel prices rise. Fuel prices rise because Trump promised OPEC that he would do something if they would increase output so prices would go down, and then he basically screwed them over. So after Trump left, after the deal was done, OPEC massively decreased output. That's why oil prices went up. Yeah. Right? Right, Aaron? They want to keep the Republican vote. Yemenite Iranian, and he's like, I'm sick and tired of this. Yeah. And so they should be. So they should be. We're all sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of a bunch of conservatives acting like children. A bunch of manly men acting like children. I'm not they can't finish it. That's the point. Yes. Yes, him and his brother got arrested and are probably going to get extradited to the UK. I'm sick of octogenarians in office. That's also true. It is not winnable, not in any way, shape, or form. Literally not winnable. There's not one bit of chance that you could win. No, it literally isn't. It is impossible to win a war just through bombing. And even if we put boots on the ground, we would not be able to take over a country of 93 million people. It's as winnable as Afghanistan. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's harder than Afghanistan. I used to blame MAGA Republicans, but now I blame all Republicans for not stopping this BS. That's understandable, Georgia. I mean, to an extent, I blame establishment Democrats for not really doing anything to stop this BS too. We aren't destroying Iran. We're destroying America. The only country that is being destroyed is this country. It doesn't matter if we have the best military in the world. Literally doesn't matter. It is an unwinnable war. The fact that you think that that matters at all is hilarious. My saying it is unwinnable is not because I don't believe we have an amazing military or good troops. I know many people that served and are serving. Doesn't matter. Unwinnable. I'm not saying you're not a stud, of course. That was an auto swipe. You're good. I hear you. We have gained nothing. The only thing this country, they didn't have nuclear weapons and weren't making them. And according to our own National Intelligence Agency, weren't in the process of making them. Get politics out of the way and it would be over. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Who needs foreign policy? No, they weren't. And weren't. The one thing that has been consistently true in the 30 years that people have been worried about them making a nuclear weapon is they have not had one. That's actually been the only consistent thing about Iran. And again, I'm not saying the Iranian government is good. They are pieces of shit. That does not mean we should start a war that we can't win. No, it's not, Salazar, and it doesn't matter who's in it. If it's mostly Democrats, then why hasn't this Republican president and the Republican attorney general released them? All. Like the actual fact that they haven't right now is totally disproves your point, but thanks for playing. It does radicalize more Iranians against us. Yep. Hell, it's radicalizing Americans. Some, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. Everyone is against USA anyways. They're not against USA, they're against the government. And they have every right to be. Look what the government is doing. Unwinnable, then what's going to happen? A lot of money is going to be wasted. A lot of lives are going to be wasted. And we're most likely going to leave with our tail between our legs after we've wasted a lot of money and a lot of lives. Your government is fine. The problem is the USA. No, our government is not fine. America will prevail. Okay. And thank you. Iran will get what they want. They have now shown the world that they control the strait. No, that's not how living in a country works, Walker. I was taught growing up that it is my job to make this country better for my kids and my kids' kids. It should not be loyalty. That's not how a society works. We're not supposed to be an authoritarian regime. Yeah, I do have kids. We do not need communists to save America. We need people to have humanity. Maybe you should go back to school, Walker, if you have to ask that question. You won't. You being manipulated by fake democracy. You always blame each other, not solving problems. No, you don't need communists to save you. Pure communism, especially, would not save us. It's not possible in the world we live in. No, we don't. It wouldn't be plausible. Unless the globe all agreed to do it and put in some major restrictions, it couldn't happen anyways. And I'm not blaming others. I'm sitting here trying to talk about problems. And the reason we're in this problems and things that we can do to fix them. Literally, I spend hours every day. Your party not responsible for anything? My party? What party is that? What party is that? You're both parties. They're not my parties, they're corporations. You know, it's 8 p.m. when people come online. Yeah. I don't align myself. I don't identify with a party. I identify with my fundamentals and I vote for whoever aligns with them. I don't care what party you're under. Now, do most of the people? So corporations equal communists? What? corporations do not equal communist. What? I'm so confused. I don't know why you keep talking about communism. Communism isn't happening. I don't want communism in this country right now. It wouldn't work. It would crash and burn. And it would just create anarchy. It is happening. No, it's not. No, it's actually not. It's okay, Jelly. No, America is not more communist than China, actually. China's not very communist either, but restrictions and regulations doesn't make communism. You can have restrictions and regulations in any society. Communism, capitalism, socialism, any other ism. That's called guardrails. There's nothing wrong with regulations anywhere. That's just responsible governance. Exactly. Nothing is unwinnable. That's not true. This is unwinnable. Ice cream costs $15. Dang. That's true. I guess anarchism would not have any regulations. That would be the only one. They're always trying. Who's they? It actually is a war, especially now that both sides are attacking things that are considered war crimes. A blockade, by its very nature, is an act of war. So yeah, it is a war, and it is not winnable. And again, I don't care if you don't believe me. It is a war. We're attacking desalination plants. They're attacking desalination plants. We've set up a blockade. We literally are in a war. That's right. Testosterone injections. Though that will win the war. That's true. That's true. That's true, Vintage. You figured it out. Why do I always repeat crap titles, label people with, I don't know. We did start the war. We literally started it. We literally started this war. We literally attacked them without provocation while they were negotiating with us. We are the bad guys here. That's right. It's interesting how they want gender therapy in the military. Oh, Islamic propaganda is getting to me? Oh, yeah, without provocation. What did they do? How did we get attacked? Please tell me. They restarted the clock. Oh, is that what it is, Philip? Gender affirming care for the bros. Oklahoma, it's 104 outside, 85 in the house with the AC on. That's crazy, Georgia. I'm sorry. That's got to be rough. Fake White House a la Truman Show and let him run fake USA. Yes, Vintage. I like that. I like that. Ah, okay. Well. Oh, he absolutely would fall for it. 103 here in the pool that's not green with some cold ones. Hell yeah. Just tell him what a great job he's doing every day. That's right. That's right. Give him more gold things. Give him tons of trophies. Every day a new trophy. For a new war he ended. Let him sign some documents for executive orders. What else does he need? It probably would work, actually. That's the scary thing. It probably would work. Put him on a plane, have it take off, and then he'd fall asleep, and then have it just turn around and land and be like, we already went to the place. We already did the thing. You were great. This is a Good Mythical Morning hat. 1994. But, you know. Truman Show, but in a VR headset. Ah, there you go. It can't. Shish kebab. I can see that too, Aaron. I can see that too. It is kind of hilarious, actually. How much, and again, you know, it often goes into these tangents, but this is the problem. It's like we either agree that certain things are bad and we hold everyone accountable for them being bad, or they're not bad. We cannot sit here and just complain about one thing and then vote for it from the other side. And until we can get to that point, okay. All right. You're allowed to think that. There's no more talking to you, dude. You keep saying stuff. It's just the same stuff. I don't know, GR. The reality is technically in order to get to communism, you have to start with socialism. You can't jump, at least not according to the original idea when it was created. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. You can jump like China. China didn't jump. China's not communist. They're authoritarian. With some capitalism in there too. I'm so glad they abolished daylight savings. That's been a 47-year problem that the sun started. Why would you leave? That's not how it works. Literally since the beginning, since the dawn of the country, people didn't leave. They did things. They ran for office. They got stuff changed. That's how a society works. You don't like something, you push for change. Why would you leave? You think everyone that was against slavery should have just left instead of trying to fix slavery and abolish it? Is that what you think? Probably what you think, isn't it? Oh, I know. If we have to have a king, I want to see Prince Harry as as our king. There you go. You got it, GR. Aw, JWL. Go sit in your mom's basement and go watch your corn. The adults are talking here. It is crazy, Vitamin E. It is crazy. At least in this country. I think there have been repercussions in other countries, just not ours. Yeah, somewhat. Somewhat. I'll give them a little bit. And straight. I mean, yeah, the fact is it's gotten so bad that there unfortunately is probably no way to make any real lasting change without pain, unfortunately. For everyone. We will be digging out of this for decades. We'll probably be digging out of this for longer than that. Unfortunately. Oh, is that true, Aaron? I did not know that. You think that Tate brothers will actually be extradited? You know, I don't have much faith in our current government to actually extradite him, but you never know. That our promise to Ukraine doesn't really go into effect until the next presidency. I don't know what promise you're talking about, Philip. I'm not out of breath, nor am I huffing and puffing, but thanks for playing. Is the huffing in the room with us? Maybe. Well, let's see. This president ran on releasing the vials. Huff. So, Iran is not in the cusp of surrendering. But thanks for playing. In fact, the complete opposite. They have increased their attacks on tankers, on infrastructure. They attacked 4 tankers today. So no, they aren't on the cusp of surrendering. Like literally the exact opposite. Well, yeah, because they know that the person that ran on releasing the e-files, now they know that he's in it. So they don't want it released because then they, then they might have to hold him accountable. You can't have that. It was a big deal before the president of the United States was in it. It was a big deal when it came out. My gosh. I just want people to be held accountable. Well, Biden's not president right now. Last I checked, I care about right now. In the grand scheme of things, I'm not sitting here saying that, like, yeah, I know he's in them. I'm just saying release them. He ran on it. No, he did not. He's released a small percentage of it. I think some people want entertainment, but I think most people want justice right now. The president of the United States? Oh, hell yeah, he did. Hell yeah, he did. They will be released, so it's fine. Oh, okay. Well, Who's president right now, Puff? Who's president right now? You either want them released or you don't want them released. How do I talk to them? In the end, I don't care what they think, so. I know you guys like to bring up past mistakes, and that's fine. We can talk about past mistakes too. But in the end, you either want them released or you don't. Of course, they all need to be accountable. Why I said all of them. I don't care what letter's next to your name. That doesn't mean anything. Anyone can call themselves a Democrat or a Republican. Means nothing. Trust the representative democracy? Why? It's our job to hold our representatives accountable. That's our job as citizens. Our job is not to just trust them. Our job is to choose them and then I don't vote blue. I vote for people that align with my fundamentals. So, no, it doesn't tell you everything about me. The fact that you don't have the ability to write in anything but caps tells me a lot about you. And Lori, it's not patience. It's, you know, in the end, this is what I signed up to do when I chose to, you know, become a political podcaster and go live. Is you do need to. Kamala Harris wasn't president ever. Kamala Harris didn't have authority in any way, shape, or form to release anything. But again, thanks for playing. It is not my full-time gig. I would love it to be my full-time gig, but it's not. I do not make enough from doing this. If y'all know people that want to help fund someone, he didn't push to have them released. How do you know what she did? Were you in the room with Kamala Harris, Sixth Beetle, for all 4 years of her being VP? How do you know what she did or didn't push for? No, Cat. And that's fine. Again, that's fine. And maybe they're willing to listen and maybe they're not. Did you see his tweet? Whose tweet? The president's? No. Yes, Jelly. Oh, 18. No, I did not. Tweet about 18. I'm assuming you mean Trump's. You can think whatever you want, 1994. Don't really care. You have no idea how much we pay in taxes. You think I pay nothing in taxes? Okay. He can. Oh, he did that whole stupid thing. Okay. All right. I wish. Exactly. Wouldn't that be nice? See, people, JWL has given you all an example of what talking out of your ass looks like. If y'all were interested in what talking out of your ass looks like, just look at JWL, because he has given us the perfect example. I look stressed? Nah, I'm good. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I was working this morning. Privatized health insurance is not better. Privatized health insurance is the reason that we are paying so much more for everything. Privatized health insurance is why people don't feel like they can get a different job ever. Long day at Taco Bell. People aren't happy with them right now. It's a long day at a lot of places, not just Taco Bell. They're telling people now to avoid a lot more than just lettuce because of what's going on. And it's funny that people are getting angry with Taco Bell when actually this administration stopped one of the services that our government did to help catch something like that before it came into our country. Hey, Linda, how are you? I know, right? Cuts food monitoring had bad outcomes, right? Caused the parasite? No. Allowed the parasite to get into this country because of their choices? Yes. Allowed the parasite to spread? Yes. We do not need to promote drinking raw milk. There's a reason pasteurization became a thing in the first place. Pasteurization was one of the most important things that we've that has ever come. Is there anything with the current system? You mean the current administration? Or the current system? Oh, it is complete. It's not even basic incompetence, it's complete incompetence. We need to promote ultra high pasteurized, shelf stable milk to reduce waste and refrigeration costs. That I would agree with. That I'd be okay with. Don't speak for my ass. It's got credentials. I'm sorry, taking notes. I'm sorry. I apologize. I hear someone just argue against pasteurization. Yup. Yup. Sixth Beetle, that statement. I think I just lost a few brain cells reading that sentence. I'm pretty sure I just lost brain cells reading that sentence. We don't even get cow's milk at our house anymore. You could care less about ketos? That's sad. Maybe that's the problem. We need more people to care. They won't get punished because no one holds them accountable. What is your purpose of asking my highest level of education? Do you think highest level of education means I'm worthy of being listened to? Oh, Linda, there's a whole thing from people talking about how drinking raw milk is better for you when it's literally not. You're good, Dag. I remember that we had a board of education, not just bored with education. I asked you a question. I said, do you think what is the purpose of the question? Like, what would it mean? What if I said I had a PhD? What would that change for any of this? Do you believe that my education level decides you call people ignorant? What does education level have to do with ignorance? You think educated people can't be ignorant? You think uneducated people can't be correct? Can't be not ignorant? You can ask the question all you want. What do you gain by calling people ignorant in chat? What do I gain? Nothing. But I also point out realities. If you make an ignorant statement, it's an ignorant statement no matter what. You're avoiding it? Not avoiding it, I'm asking questions. I have no problem answering it if I think there's a real purpose to it. You just wanting to know and now saying that the only reason you're asking is because I'm calling people ignorant means that you don't actually care. If for some reason you think that my education level is so low that you can ignore what I'm saying as though education matters. I disagree because again, you already answered it. You said you call people ignorant on here. Just curious. So you answered my question. That is not a reason, a good reason for me to answer a question like that. Why can't we win? We win what, McDavie? Why can't who win what? My cousin has a PhD and he's an idiot. I wonder if that person understands the definition of ignorant. Probably not. I stopped drinking cow's milk years back. Someone called it bovine mammary. And I never got over it. I mean, it's true. Why can't we win? Because it's a country of 93 million people, twice the size of Texas, with a large chunk of it being in the mountains, and they know the mountains better than we do. What do you think winning looks like, I guess? I guess it depends what do you think winning looks like. Not to mention all they have to do is survive to keep going. And if we actually got to a point where survival wasn't like gonna happen for an entire country of 93 million people, we would be worse than the guy who started the war in the 1930s. We can't turn off their ability to control the strait. Not without a forever occupation, which would cost us billions of dollars. And they already didn't have nukes. And we've also already shown that occupying the strait does not guarantee that we own the strait. Secret intel? No. No, this intel is for everyone to see. There's a reason that we've never done this. There's a reason that no one was stupid enough to do what this president did. Why would they participate in the control? It's our fault. I mean, they always come out, Linda. That's just the life we live right now. I'm not interested in forever occupation either. They move oil to. Who moves oil to? Two kids with a slingshot can shut down the strait right now. Kind of true. I just wonder why, if they think it's so easy, it still hasn't finished yet. And we're on 4.5 months now. 4.5? 4.5, 5 months, something like that. And all it's done has gotten worse. Have they shut? Yeah, they did shut down the strait multiple times. They shut it down. They opened it up partially. They opened it up sort of, and then they shut it down again. It's been shut down for over a week. They've already fired on like 15 or 20 tankers since they shut it down. Not to mention both sides are firing now at we blockaded Iran from getting tankers out. Iran has shut it down for anyone else getting tankers through. We did not shut it down. We are not in the strait. We are outside the strait, making sure Iranian tankers don't get through. And I'm not even sure how well we're doing at that, but we do not control the area. Not even a little bit. We control the skies, but that's about it. We do not control the area. No, we actually don't control the sea. That's why they have been literally attacking tankers for the last week, for the last 10 days. We control nothing. We control the air. That is all we control. And even that, considering they fire drones through the air, we don't really control that either. Oh, gas is going to be pretty expensive soon. And food is going to be expensive and in shorter supply. But that's because of the lack of fertilizer. No, we haven't knocked out all their batteries along their coast. Hence why they have been hitting multiple tankers in the strait. We will. No, we won't. You think we will when we haven't been able to do it in 4.5 months? Just 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. Two weeks. That's all we've been waiting for 2 more weeks of this. And then it'll be done. Forget the fact that the growing season is already over. So we are going to have a shortage of food no matter what. And the people that did grow food have their costs increased by at least 20%. And the cost of diesel is up like, what, 50, 75% from what it was before the war? The thunder is, you mean war crimes, McDavie? Is that the thunder you mean? You mean the war crimes? There's a lot of countries, there's a lot of states that grow their own food. The problem is not the food, the problem is the fertilizer. He also promised us health care plans in 2 weeks. That's true. They're homogeneous and safe. In what way are they homogeneous? We ever I did not, but probably pretty good. Ah, Vince, so you're racist. Got it. That makes sense. That makes sense. Hachi, do you think the e-files should be released? Why does it matter what does it matter what president? Oh no, it absolutely is racism. Then that's all that should matter, Tachi. You either care that they are released or you don't. I don't care if the Clintons go to jail. If they did stuff to any of these young women, yeah, they should. It's the part that you guys that so many people don't get when they bring up Biden or anybody else. It has nothing to do with that. That's an identity politics problem. I don't give a rat's ass about a letter next to someone's name. Democratic Party and Republican Party are just corporations, and they've convinced us to identify with them, and we've fallen for it. I mean, Jolie, that's great. I have found that most people that call themselves independents just don't want to align with a party, but they do. Like they don't really consider either side. I hope you're not one of those people. I'm just saying that is my issue with a lot of people that say that their independence is they aren't really. They don't like the idea of associating with a party. I talked with a lot of people that were like that. Racism is real. I know, Vince. I know, and you're one of them. A lot of people want a third party. I would love multiple parties, but it won't happen until we can get rid of the Electoral College, Ron. Won't happen until we can get rid of the Electoral College. Our system is straight up designed to make it impossible for a third party to actually exist. A third party can't crush the other two. There will always be two parties. At least. There will always be at least two parties. And there can only be two parties. That doesn't mean a third party can't win a thing here or there. Unless you have a one party state. It's not possible unless you don't have elections anymore and you aren't a democracy. Democracy would never be a one party state. Nope, it's not possible. Oh, I mean, ranked choice. I love ranked choice. I would take ranked choice. You can call it whatever you want. someone giving a word to the existence of something, if it happens that way, doesn't mean it could actually happen. Our system is set up for two parties. Cannot happen. You cannot have less, you will never have more. As long as the system looks the way it does. Again, you could describe all of this that you want, Ron. It doesn't matter. It will not happen in the United States under the current constitutional system that we live under. I would love to change the system. That would rock. Do I think the current constitutional order is forever? I mean, nothing is forever. The current constitution is not forever. That's why you have amendments. But are you saying, do I think they want to get rid of it? So they want anarchy. And who's they? Who is this they you speak of? But in order to change the system, you'd still need a majority of the states. The rich want to get rid of the current republic. I mean, I don't think the rich want to get rid of the current republic. The rich want to keep doing what they're doing. They're making billions upon billions upon billions of dollars the way it is. They control everything right now. And again, we let them. They're also too limited by the current order because of voting. Okay. I don't agree with that. They're not limited at all. They're kicking butt right now. Literally making billions upon billions of dollars because of this system. We have our first trillionaire thanks to it. I mean, sure, some of them may want something different. Does Palantir want to end voting? I don't know what Palantir wants to do. I don't care what Palantir wants to do. I mean, yeah, it's worth knowing, but in the end, again, the question is, what do we want? You should? Okay. I actually care for more people to get out and vote, especially in primaries. That's what I care about. I have to send 20 new Democrats to give them 67 votes. Well, I mean, that won't happen in this election. I don't even think there are 20 new Democratic seats up for election, like up to get flipped. Hey, Shell. You need 3/4 of the states to ratify anything that passes this Congress anyways. Passes Congress anyways. Hey, Trucking Bard, how are you doing? I don't know. It always is frustrating to me, the people that come in that think they just it's been a long day. 604 miles. Dang. Well, I want us to be happy with my gay husband, grow my 3 acres of weed farm with my AR-15. That's all. That's all. Is that too much to ask? Dang. That's a 604 miles. That's a lot, dude. Why is the war unwinnable? Because there's no way of winning it. I mean, in the end, I guess it depends what your definition of winning is, but it's literally just not winnable. Went from Naples, Florida to Jonesburg, Georgia today. Dang, that is a drive. I don't even think we could get a deal similar to what we had before. Like I said, we opened up the door now to the point where Iran knows that they can control the strait and no one can really do anything about it. Which means they're probably going to start charging people to get through. And we as a country will have no choice but to pay it. Or as a globe will have no choice but to pay it. So much damage from this administration. So much damage. It was up until the point that we started this war, it was theoretical. In the sense of no one was stupid enough to try it because they were worried it would happen. We did it, and now we've proved that they can. Made them more powerful. Yep, we did. And that's the wild thing. That's the thing that people don't seem to be willing to wrap their heads around. Is not only has this administration not achieved any of what they initially even said were their intended goals, but it's gotten worse. Like the script has been flipped, and now the Houthis are controlling the Bab el Mandeb Strait. Unfortunately, Maggie, we cannot have a third party until we get rid of the Electoral College. It just cannot happen. By the very nature of the way the Electoral College works, you cannot have a viable third party. The only way a new party could come into existence is if one of the two parties that exist right now, shut their doors. Then all you're doing is giving a vote to whoever leans the other way. It's not even slim to none, it's none. You're a proud libertarian. I mean, that's great that you're a proud libertarian, but it's not gonna. It's and again, you have the right to vote that way. They're raking in too much money. Yeah, but that's on us. The point of voting in primaries is who you is voting for who you want to win. But in an electoral college system, voting third party is not going to do that. Because the way our electoral college system works is, let's say a libertarian or a Green Party or whoever won, ends up winning a few states, and no one gets 270 electoral votes. You know who chooses the president? The House of Representatives. It doesn't go to a a revote or whatever. If a libertarian got 270 votes over a Democrat, then they would have to give it to them. Okay. But they're not electoral votes. No third party is ever going to get 270 electoral votes. There aren't enough libertarians in the world, in the country. And no, they won't. You can only have 2 parties in an electoral college. Nope. We might not. It's not a might. It's a not. The current system is designed to only allow 2 parties. That was how it was designed to be. Now I'd love to get rid of it. Love to get rid of it. But that's going to involve doing a lot more work and us being willing to get over ourselves and our identities in order to do it. And there are plenty of people that are running that would love to get rid of the electoral college. There's a lot of people running, at least that I specifically know, under the Democratic ticket, that in any other country that has multiple parties wouldn't consider themselves Democrats. But we are a 2-party system. We are a multi-party society in a 2-party system. If we want to change it, we need to do the work to change it. If libertarians want to get rid of the electoral college so they can have a chance, then they should work with the other people, no matter what party they're in, to get people in office that want to do that. State and federal. And stop just voting libertarian on everything, because it's not going to fix it. Oh no, that's comparing those two again, it's not. I've said this before. The Democrats' room is a mess. Pigsty. Needs to get cleaned up. The Republican room right now is a pigsty with a giant pile of crap that is set on fire. They aren't the same. And the fact that anyone would consider them same are ignoring realities. I lean conspiracy. Well, leaning conspiracy actually makes us less likely to fix anything because 99.9% of conspiracies are wrong. No, both sides aren't pushing us to Agenda 30. There may be people, but again, it's not a side. It's who aligns with your fundamentals. And there are people that are running under at least the Democratic ticket. I haven't seen any yet on the Republican ticket. They want us to do those smart cities and you'll own nothing and be happy. I'm sorry. It is not winnable. Not even a little bit. Definitely not the way we're doing it, but not winnable at all. You won't take away their ability to defend the strait. Won't happen. You planning to land 5 million troops and have them live in that country? A hostile country for ever? That's the only way we can control things like that, and even then we wouldn't really control it. Why do they think no military strategist would ever thought it would if it were that simple? I know, right? There is a reason that no one has been stupid enough to do this. There's a reason. There is a reason no one has been stupid enough to do this. They've got districts set aside to try smart cities. Well, right now I'm trying to get people to just actually care enough to get involved. So, right now that's the problem that we've got in this country. This country as a whole cannot even agree on fundamentals, let alone anything else. So when we talk about all this other stuff, it doesn't really matter. Not because there may not, not because any of this may or may not be true, but because we can't even, that like that conversation is way farther down the line. We've got far too much we need to work on right now that has nothing to do. Oh, I mean, yeah. Divide and conquer has been used by elites, by politicians, sure. Billionaires have convinced poor people that they someday could become a billionaire. So they need to fight against higher taxes for rich people because they're worried that one day they might be one of them. So they want to make sure they don't get taxed too much. That's the wildest one. That's like one of the worst things that capitalism has done to this country, is convince everyone that the way it can work is opposite of the way capitalism actually works, to the point where people believe that they can all be rich, that we can all be billionaires. And so we've all got to fight against high taxes because once we become a billionaire, we don't want to be taxed a lot. Not realizing that in a capitalist system, there's still a finite amount of funding. So as the rich get richer, you are naturally taking away from the bottom. And right now the rich are so rich that the people at the bottom just keeps expanding and expanding, expanding in this country. Less and less people are going to have the ability to become rich because of the way our system is set up. I think a wealth tax has a potential as a starting point, but I think there's more to it. I think one of the biggest problems that we've caused is made it possible for wealthy people to take out loans based on their wealth, which allows them to not pay taxes on it. I think if we did something like that, where we said, you know, if you have the wealth to cover a loan, you have to pay taxes on it. I actually think that would be a better way to fix part of the problem, at least. Because it's a loan, they don't pay taxes on it because it's considered a loss. So and again, are there other things we can do too? Probably. I mean, I still think we need to make a minimum wage that is equal to, a minimum wage that is equal to a livable wage. And that is, at least at the moment, you know, if a livable wage in one state is different than a livable wage in another, then the minimum wage in those states is different. I think ideally, the cost of living would be the same everywhere, which would make a livable wage the same everywhere. But again, I also understand that we're living in certain realities. Yeah, Aaron. Oh, lobbying should be illegal. Citizens United should be overturned. Thoughts on Mikey Sherrill's announcement today? Mistakes happen. I mean, she explained it. It was a computer error. less than 400 people actually of those people voted. They've been removed from the voting rolls, so they cannot vote. Scott's here. Heyo. Lewis must be over. Lewis must have ended. DMV computer error. Hey, James.
The biggest non-story in the history of non-stories. Here's what happened, folks. These are people who went to the Division of Motor Vehicles. There was the Division of Motor Vehicles software is handled by a certain company that has handled it for 40 years. They made a mistake, not the people at the DMV, but the computer company made a mistake and counted them as registered voters because in New Jersey, like many states, you can register to vote. Now, how many of those 400 people claimed to be citizens? 0. All of them made quite clear that they were not citizens, ergo not eligible to vote. The computer fucked up and registered them to vote. This happens all the time. It's not that big a deal. There is redundancy. The voter rolls are constantly in all 50 states looked over by the state, and errors are caught and fixed. This instance proves that the system is actually working as it should work. And for those of you keeping score at home, that equals 0.009 of the electorate. Okay? It is the biggest non-story in the history of non-stories. Absolutely, categorically, not one person committed fraud. Not one.
Yep. And hi, Laura. And hi, Vonda. And everyone else, hello, who came over from Lewis's stream. Hopefully it was good. Hopefully no one got banned.
Oh, no, we only had 3 flags this time.
Did you really?
All by 8 o'clock.
Knock on wood, I still don't know how I've been as lucky as I have.
Well, because you don't sit there calling people fat fucks and everything else.
I don't know. I've been heading that way a little bit more lately, but
I didn't do anything. I didn't get any flags. Luis got all of them, and I didn't even egg him on. He just came on hot tonight talking about Trump and,
and everything that he is doing. Yeah, I saw the report today that said that that the Houthis have been turning away Saudi ships already. Pipelines are already starting to shut down on that side now too. Like, it's gonna get bad.
Yeah, that's a lot of oil we're talking about. I mean, we're for obvious reasons, we're focused on the Straits of Hormuz, and as well we should. But a good portion of oil comes out of the Red Sea too, especially as you pointed out, Mike, Saudi oil.
Now, the only reason that we haven't had a complete crash is because they're only stopping Saudi oil tankers. They're still allowing cargo ships through.
Yeah.
If they decide to just close it down, whew, it's
going to be rough.
That was really rough.
It's going to be rough. Well, and why will it be rough? Because worldwide, both distillate stocks and oil stocks in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, boy, we're pretty near rock bottom with that.
Yep.
We don't have much distillate, and we don't have much in the Strategic Reserve.
Brent is up to $92 a barrel already.
Yeah, and what was it? It got all the way down to 62, didn't it?
It was pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
We got Freedom gas stations, though. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, thank God for those Freedom gas stations. Wow. The saviors. And yes, China is fine because China filled up their strategic reserve.
And then some. They had I think at their max, they hit $1 billion barrels in their strategic reserve. And actually, that's one of the only reasons I think that I remember Mr. Global saying that's one of the only reasons that oil was able to not go up as much as it could have is because they filled up and then they said, okay, now we're done. So we're going to reduce our imports.
Yes, China reduced their imports 5 million barrels a day,
which allowed the oil to go other places.
Yeah, the Persian Gulf nations were able to scrape together about 8 million barrels of the 20 million that were being held up in Hormuz. About 8 million were able to be shifted across to the Red Sea, but now the Houthis are putting that in jeopardy. It's not just the normal shipping in the Red Sea. The Saudis and others are using the Saudi pipelines to pipe it across Saudi Arabia to disembark on the Red Sea side as opposed to the Straits of Hormuz side. And now if that gets blocked off, wow.
Yep.
So that's why we haven't had catastrophe yet, because China doesn't need the oil. The Saudis have been able to divert a lot that would normally go through the Straits of Hormuz, not a majority, but a lot, to the other side, to the Red Sea side. And now if that's in danger, then we're in a whole different type of ball game.
So yeah, Brent got as low as $60.
Yeah, I thought Brent had dropped significantly. And well, not anymore. 92.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, someone was saying that because of the fertilizer problem, that Mr. Global said that people should consider stocking up again on goods that especially that are like yeah, on like canned goods and things.
Well, we'll get hit with that, I would imagine, come harvest time in the late summer, early fall.
September is when he was saying is when we notice it the most.
Yeah, late summer, early fall is when this stuff goes to market, and that is when justifiably so, the farmers will pass on the increased cost of fertilizer that they've already had to pay up front.
Yep. Yeah. It's just I still can't believe it. And obviously you're in Lewis's live, so you don't see the early trolls that come in, but it's been
Oh, I'm sure they had plenty to say. I saw that and I said, here comes MAGA. Oh, see, this is why we need the SAVE Act, man.
Yes.
No, not one person, 0 people, as in none, 0, goose egg, zilch, committed fraud. Yep. Not one. They all admitted that they were not. They were just there to get a driver's license. And they said, no, we're not citizens. And then the computer fucked it up. The software company fucked it up and called them citizens, so they were registered to vote. And only 400 of them voted. And they did not commit fraud. And that really does show that the system works, because the state, New Jersey, like every other state, will periodically go through its voter rolls to look for mistakes. They found it. They corrected it. Problem over. That's the way the system works, and it works very well. I mean, let's remember, folks, we're a nation of 340 million people. Having 400 people inadvertently admitted to the voting rolls is not a big deal.
So have you seen the whole hullabaloo going on between this Netanyahu coming to the UN and Mamdani being asked whether he's going to try and arrest him?
I've seen snippets of it, but since it sounded on everybody's part here a little bit performative, I haven't paid much attention to it.
Well, and the funny thing is the last I heard from Mamdani, he specifically was like, because of the way things are done, like I'm not going to, like, we aren't whether or not we should arrest someone who has a warrant out by the ICC, we aren't part of the ICC.
Yes, there's the ICC has a warrant. Let them enforce it. It's not our job to enforce ICC warrants because we are not a part of the ICC.
Regardless of whether he believes that he should be arrested. And that was my understanding of how we responded to it. But maybe there's something that happened that I didn't see, because there are tons of people that are flipping out about it. Appeals court upholds White House advisor Peter Navarro's contempt of Congress. Good. See, Johnson was able to ram through the SAVE Act through some ridiculous bullshit that probably won't get through reconciliation.
Well, that's what I don't see how the SAVE Act gets through reconciliation anyway. He's trying to piggyback it on something.
So,
and I believe they're trying to make it not where it's a firm law, but they cut off funding if you don't state by state adopt it. It's some goofy Rube Goldberg type of thing he's trying to patch together, which is almost laughable on its face. And it doesn't really matter because it'll never get through the Senate anyway with reconciliation because of the Senate rules.
And technically all they did was vote to bring it to debate. They haven't actually passed it yet.
Look, I just don't see how, and I could be wrong, of course, but I don't see how the votes are there. Here's what has to happen to get the SAVE Act. You have to get rid of the filibuster. I don't see 50 votes to get rid of the filibuster. Then, even if you got rid of the filibuster, would you get 50 votes for the SAVE Act in and of itself? I'm not at all certain that you would. And thirdly, is the SAVE Act a poll tax, which is unconstitutional and gets bounced anyway?
Well, I mean, what's her face from Alaska has already said that she would not vote for any form of the SAVE Act. Tillis has said that he would not vote for any form of the SAVE Act. They're down McConnell. So technically, if there is one more person, they couldn't even get it through reconciliation.
They couldn't even get it through reconciliation, and the Senate parliamentarian will never allow that into reconciliation. So let's say it's just a standalone law, and somehow you got rid of the filibuster. The question is, do you even have 50 votes anyway? Yeah. Oh, we got rid of the filibuster so we can pass it. Well, do you even have the 50 votes? I'm not sure that they do. Cornyn's going to support it. I know he said he would before Trump backstabbed him. Cassidy, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell, I'm not so sure. Who knows if he'll even vote? Murkowski, and what about Collins? Collins is in a tough re-election fight. She supports the SAVE Act. She loses.
Yeah. Thune said that it basically what he said is anything that comes from the House is probably going to get tabled until after the election. At this point, his focus is going to be on getting a CR that will make it through the 2026 midterms. That from what I saw of an interview with him, that is his plan right now, is to try and get a CR that gets through the midterm elections.
Yeah, that's another question. If the SAVE Act was passed tomorrow, would it be in place for the 2026 elections? And that is a very open question.
Could you imagine 20 million people flooding every whatever it is, whatever they're called, that they would have to go to, because everyone would have to re-register in person.
Yeah, the logistics of this just don't work, especially on the short time frame that we're talking about.
We can't even get real IDs into everyone's pockets. You think we could do this? It's just unrealistic. I mean, again, the voter ID part of it, I think it's stupid. I think it's a problem. It's making up a problem that doesn't exist. That's my issue with it. is they
Yeah,
haven't been able
yeah.
to actually show that there's an issue with it happening in places like California. People, they just don't like the outcomes. The the That's my issue with that. It's not with voter ID. I show voter ID right now. I think we should give it, I think we should, anyone that is born, that has a, that is born in this country should just be sent some sort of ID for voting, and that's it, or something like that. But it's the registering that's the problem.
Look, voter ID in and of itself, as you just alluded to, is a solution in search of a problem. There is no problem with fraudulent voting in the United States, not at any substantive level. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. But if they'd have just wanted a clean voter ID law, it would have passed. They would have gotten it.
One of the reasons that Murkowski in Alaska is said that she would vote against it. This is again shows the ridiculousness of people in this country that don't realize what America is actually like. She was like, it would cost Americans in my state thousands of dollars to travel to get to re-register so they could vote.
Have the Republicans really thought this through? Who are the people who don't have birth certificates or passports or things like that? They're generally in the red states. They're more disproportionately in the red states. And there's no guarantee that we're talking that there's more Democrats here than Republicans. In fact, most people think that it's more red voters would not have that paperwork that they needed. Secondly, for the thing you just talked about, if you inconvenience 340 million Americans to go out and get this, they're going to be fucking pissed. And who are they going to blame? Be careful what you wish for.
I mean, and it's not even just Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Idaho. There's some, especially those northern Midwestern states, there's some massively rural areas that would take, it would take, like, you'd have to like make an entire day just to, like, you'd have to like stay in a friggin' hotel somewhere to get down and re-register.
Yeah, it would cost money. It would cost time.
Which makes
Everybody
it a poll
in chat,
tax.
ask yourself one question. How much fun do you have when you have to go to the DMV?
Think about it 10
and
times
imagine
worse.
that for 340 million Americans at once.
Yep. And that would make it a poll tax by its very nature, which would make it unconstitutional. And what's hilarious is I was talking about poll taxes this morning and saw people going, poll tax, weak argument. And it's like, no, that's called the freaking Constitution. There's literally precedent for this problem. So wild. It's so wild that people cannot wrap their heads around this.
Look, folks, what is this whole thing with the SAVE Act? What is this whole? Everybody in Congress, and especially the Republicans, knows it's nonsense. They know it will hurt their voters probably more than it will hurt Democratic voters. They know it's having to trudge to go get this documentation and get everything done. 13 to 20 million people will be kicked off the voting rolls. Yeah, this is all being done to assuage the ego of a megalomaniac in the Oval Office. They know it's never going to happen, but they keep pretending. It's like the emperor has no clothes, and everybody keeps telling Donald Trump that he has lovely clothes.
And again, this is the part that drives me nuts. And I have never been a Marco Rubio fan. I'm going to be straight. Never been a fan of Marco Rubio. But to see what Marco Rubio has become, especially after that speech, a few days ago, where he was like talking about leftist terrorist groups in America, I was sitting here dumbfounded that someone could fall that far.
Well, you shouldn't be that dumbfounded. Take a look at Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, but I always considered Marco Rubio smarter than Lindsey Graham.
Oh, I considered Lindsay a little bit smarter than Marco. You know what? They're both pretty smart guys, and they're both well, one of them's dead now, but um, they're both remarkably cynical,
Yeah.
and they've sold their soul for something that they're never going to get.
That just boggles my mind. And in the end, isn't that the problem that we've got, right? Isn't that the problem that we have going forward is how can we trust how can anyone trust a politician after people like Lindsey Graham and JD Vance and Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz? Again, not that I trusted Ted Cruz ever, but after the stuff that all that those people alone said about this president at one point and then became like the biggest fangirls of all time is just it's why there's so little trust of politicians.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason they did it is they all turned around and looked what happened to Jeff Flake. They looked what happened to Mitt Romney. They looked what happened to Liz Cheney, and they toe the line for stuff that they know is utter nonsense. You know, and Lindsey Graham admitted it in his interview in 2019 with the Times. He said, "I want to have a seat at the table." But what Lindsey never understood is the only table he had a seat at was the kids' table, because Donald Trump never took him too seriously anyway.
Yep.
And in the end, Donald Trump betrays everybody around him anyway. So it's all a fool's game.
Yep. Yeah. It's you know, I've definitely found that I dislike being fully away from politics like for the entire day and then having to pay attention in the evening. I don't like ending my day with politics. I like starting my day with politics. Start my day with politics and then go do other things. It's so much better for my mental state. Pennsylvania's. I mean, technically all states are real ID states now. They've just they just keep delaying the forced enforcement of it.
Yeah, I think my state was one of the last, and you know, because they'll cut off your federal highway funds, and my state delayed for years. I mean, almost a decade, and I finally got mine. You know, about 6 months ago. But yeah, yeah. Oh, by the way, were the crazies in there saying that this is why we need the SAVE Act and
Oh yeah.
everything else earlier? Oh, that
yeah.
figures.
Oh yeah. The second they brought up the New Jersey thing, and at first I was like, it didn't happen, and then I'm like, everyone was like, no, it did. So I went and looked it up. I'm like, oh yeah. So I read the report, and they're like, see, he didn't. First they were like, see, he didn't apologize for lying. I'm like, no, I just don't trust you guys. You guys like, I'm like, you guys come in and say the dumbest shit humanly possible. So yeah, my first response is not going to be not believing you when you say this stuff. And then I read and I was like, yeah, it doesn't sound like anything really happened. So
No, nothing happened. Not one instance of voter fraud. Zero. Not even a single case. Of all 400 people, all 400 people filled out their paperwork correctly, delineating that they were non-citizens, ergo not eligible to vote. And it was the DMV software that screwed it up. And because we have redundancy in American elections, it's not just New Jersey, it's all 50 states. They periodically go through the voter rolls, more than periodically, they go through them a lot, and they caught the error. And they corrected the error. That's a system that's working, not a system that's broken.
And that comes to the whole this whole idea where, you know, in their mind the only thing that's okay is no mistakes ever, which again doesn't exist. So I don't know why we're even having that conversation. Though it is cool seeing all of you guys come over from Lewis's live and be like, hey, Lewis's live. Like, I know exactly when Lewis's live ends because everyone pops over. It's hilarious.
Well, the outside people were kicked out once we had 3 flags. It was down to like 18 people. they just the engagement, because he's taken off the algorithm at that point, and the engagement drops.
You know, the Georgia Republicans wanted to remove the QR codes off the Georgia ballots. But at this point, nothing surprises me. I hope people get out and vote. I just hope people get.
Well, they've been doing it so far, Mike. The voter enthusiasm gap is anywhere between 15 and 20 points right now, which is the largest I've ever seen it in 40 years of looking at that shit. So and they've been voting in the special elections, and they voted in New Jersey, New York, and Virginia in 2025. So yeah, they're going to vote.
All right. You don't need to brag that in Germany you don't have Trump, okay?
A shout out, Joff. You're up in the middle of the night for you.
Yeah.
Good seeing you again, my friend.
3:30 in the morning. All right, guys. I've got an early morning tomorrow. Like I said, the rest of this week I'll be evenings except for Friday. I won't be live at all because I'll be busy literally all day with the show because the show is this Friday and Saturday. But I'll be back tomorrow night, and you know, we'll see what's going on because you never know. But thank you guys. Thanks everyone. You guys rock. I appreciate all of you that come when I'm here in a different time. I know it's weird for a lot of people, so I appreciate all of you that are able to come in. But I'll be back in the morning starting next week. So we back to the usual. You guys are amazing. We are. I love y'all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Something that makes you happy. Bye, guys.